Welcome to Business Spotlight, a signature series from the National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals. This is the show where we shine a light on the people, the stories, and the passion behind the brands. Each episode, we sit down with one of our incredible members to explore the journey, the culture, and the character that fuels their business. It's not just about what they do, it's about why they do it, how they got started, and what keeps them going. From bold startups to beloved staples, we're celebrating the entrepreneurs who are shaping the wedding and event industry, our community, one story at a time. So, whether you're here for inspiration, connection, or just good conversation, you're in the right place. This is Business Spotlight, where business gets personal. Today, we're diving into the story of one of our very own association members, Shirley Goodwin of JR Flowers, who's turning passion into purpose and hustle into heritage. A brand that's not just making waves, but making meaning. Welcome to this episode of Business Spotlight, hosted by the National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals. Hello, 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 everyone. This is the National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals. This is our YouTube channel, and every now and then you're going to see things on here that are related to our events, related to our members, and that's what we're doing here today. We're shining the light on our members, and today we are very excited to have our member with us, Miss Shirley Goodwin, and she is here to talk about her brand, JR Flowers. We're going to get to know a little bit about her as far as like who she is as a person. So I'm super excited to have this conversation with her today. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, good morning, Tara. How are you?
Good, good. Well, I'm super excited to have you. I know about you, but and you know what? I may learn something new about you here today. I don't know. But today we're just gonna talk casual, learn about who Shirley is, learn about who JR Flowers is. And with that, let's just lead into the conversation. First of all, who is JR Flowers?
Well, JR Flowers is named after my two sons, Justin and Ryan. I founded the company in 2016. I've had a lifelong love of flowers, gardening. My mom and my grandmother were both avid gardeners. And so I've always enjoyed it and loved it, but I never thought of myself as being a florist or a wedding and event, floral designer. I went to college and med school. I'm actually a pediatrician. So I did all of that and kind of had flowers kind of on the back burner, wasn't thinking so much about them. And then as my, kids grew up a bit, I had more time to do design. So I, started doing a little dabbling with it for parties or showers, things like that. And then I kind of just said, hey, this is so much fun. Let me start trying to do a little bit more. And what really set it off was when I went to Seattle with my husband. He had a business trip there, and I went with him. And I went to the Seattle market, Pikes, I think it's called Pikes Market or Pikes Place Market. And I saw all of the beautiful flowers that they have there. They don't even compare to the most of the flowers that we see here on the East Coast. And there's just something in seeing all of those flowers just triggered in me, like, you know what, I need to just try to start a little business because I this is just amazing. So I did that. I got the believe it or not, the first platform I joined was Thumbtack to try to get weddings because I didn't know anything about meeting planners and things like that at that time. So I joined Thumbtack. I actually got a few weddings and started building up a little portfolio, and then I started realizing, okay, I need to meet photographers and planners and do styled shoots and things like that. Get to know bridal salon owners, those types of things. And so then I kind of started moving in that direction, and here we are today.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, you wrapped up several of my questions in that. Your company is named after your sons. Love that. You're based in Northern Virginia, right outside the Washington, D.C. metro area. And you talked about how you got started and, the things that you went through. When we're first starting our businesses, we just don't know. But when you finally got that first client, what was that client that you got? Kind of describe what that feels like.
Oh my gosh, the feeling was totally, I was so elated. Now this bride wanted sort of a gothic theme, so not anything not anything similar to the style that I do today, but it was amazing. Like she never asked me like, "Have you done weddings before?" or "Have you worked at this venue before?" We just met in person and had lunch and chatted, and she just signed, and I could not have been more excited to do that wedding. It was, I knew it wasn't my style, but at the same time, it was still a wedding at a decent venue, and it was great.
Okay. And speaking about style, as we start our businesses, we grow, we have to grow into ourselves as far as like what it is that we want. What style, what is the JR Flower style?
My style is, I'd like to think of it as more of an upscale garden style. I like to use different types of flowers, flowers that you may not always, see, just like if you're in the store or at some other type of event. I like softness, some modern feel to it. But like you're just kind of walking through a very upscale, beautiful, whimsical garden.
Okay, all right. Now let's back up a little bit. Let me ask you the question, who is Shirley Goodwin?
Shirley Goodwin. Well, I am a wife and mother. I've been a pediatrician for a long time. I work part time in my pediatric practice. Um, like I said, I've always loved to garden and be outside. I like to travel. I like to read. And now I'm getting more into just taking care of myself. I've had some problems, with my knee. So I'm kind of just slowing down a little bit, trying to take better care of my body, because floral design is a very physical field to work in. So I'm learning that I've got to, put my health first in this field.
Hmm. And what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, for fun, I like to travel. I like to try different wineries. I enjoy a nice glass of wine on the weekend with friends. Um, Flowers used to be my hobby, but since it's a business now, it's no longer my hobby. But I still like to get out in the garden.
Okay, all right, awesome. So now let's roll back over to the business side. As you've been in business for quite a few years now, what's one of or some of the biggest lessons that you've learned since starting your business?
A big lesson that I've learned. Well, I would say proper communication
Mm,
on both sides with your client as well as with the venue and planner photographer that you're working with. You want to make sure everybody is on the same page, and then just general patience. This is not a sprint. I would say that this is a slow winding race, or not even a race. This is just a slow winding path that you're going through. So don't expect to shoot to stardom, or don't expect to have certain things that other people have, and try not to be envious. I would say that try not to be envious. Just run your own race.
not to have that imposter syndrome.
True, very true.
Yeah, because
It's
that's
hard to avoid. Yeah.
yes. Oh my God, especially with social media out there these days, it's just like
Hmm.
you fall into that trap, making you think that you're not better than the person that you're witnessing when you are. It's just you
Hmm.
are. Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have to put that phone down, especially after events. Like you'll do an event, and then you'll sit on the couch on Sunday and scroll through, and you're still on that high from your event. But then you scroll through, and then you see other events, and you think, oh, well, mine wasn't as nice as that one. So you got to put the phone away, put it away,
Yeah,
and Yeah.
Oh my God. And I don't care how long you've been in business, we all get that feel.
Yes. It's
So
terrible.
yes, yes. What's been a common misconception about the floral industry in weddings and events?
Hmm. The pricing, I would say, people, they think, oh my gosh, you're charging too much, or I can't believe it costs that much. And flowers are just expensive. I mean, there's just no way around it. They're expensive. Ever since COVID, they've been ridiculously expensive, and of course now, with everything going on, they're even more expensive. So we're not price gouging. We're just, charging industry standard pricing, labor costs, truck rental costs, all of those kinds of things just add up. And so it's still, it's always a shock to clients, but probably even more so in the last couple of years, the price is always like, oh my God. So,
Mhm.
and I've learned to, try not to just let the person have their feeling about the price and just agree with them. Like, man, it is kind of expensive, but that's just
Mhm.
the way it is. It's not me. It's just the way it is. Flowers are a
Yeah.
luxury. I'll say that they're a luxury. You can have a beautiful wedding without them, but if it's something that you want to include, then they will cost.
Mhm, mhm. Speaking about misconceptions about flowers, I can think of two. One you hit on when you were just speaking is about the labor. People don't understand that there are people touching those flowers before they get to your event. And it's not just one person, it's a team of people. And those people have to get paid.
Hmm.
That goes into the cost of the flowers. And then also on the day, it's not Shirley coming by herself to put those flowers,
That's
to put those
right.
flowers out. And if sometimes y'all have to do room flips, so you're staying behind to do all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the things I try to educate people when it comes to flowers. It's like, hey, it's just not like picking them up from Costco
Right.
and putting them out. And that's the other thing, saying the Costco thing, is people think that, oh, well, can't they just get flowers from Costco? Can you kind of go into the grocery store flowers versus where real floral designers get their flowers from?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we order our flowers from flower farms. A lot of times in South America, sometimes from farms here in Virginia. There are several flower farmers here in Virginia that I'll order my specialty flowers from. But these flowers are bigger, prettier, longer lasting than most of the flowers that you will, get from the grocery store. Now I'm not knocking grocery store flowers because I buy them sometimes too, for myself, for my house. Or if I'm in a pinch and I need 20 more white roses, I might run up to Costco. But in general, you are getting high quality flowers that have been bred for weddings, or special events. They're going to be flowers that you haven't seen before, or you can't believe the size of it. Like sometimes you'll see a rose in the grocery store, that's like this big, but then my flowers come and they're this big. So these are specialty flowers. They are definitely showstoppers.
Okay, awesome, awesome. What's been one of your favorite events that you have worked on?
Oh boy, let's see. Well, we've had so many beautiful events, but I would say one from not too long ago was at a family home here in the DC area. The family lived in the bride's parents lived in a beautiful estate in the Northern Virginia area. It was beautifully landscaped, like just wandering around the property was just mind-boggling how pretty it was. And we got to use beautiful corals, pinks, peaches, yellows, just beautiful, beautiful colors, in a tented outdoor wedding. Everyone was just so lovely and friendly. It was just a special event because it just felt, it wasn't a small wedding either. It was a larger wedding, but it just felt so beautiful and comfortable, and I just love the family and the colors, and just everybody just came together and just made it just such a spectacular event.
Okay, awesome. Sometimes it's just those small, intimate, events or weddings that, you feel the love, you feel the energy in the room, and
Hmm.
that's makes them the best ones. It's not like how the size or the head count of the wedding is it's the
The
intentionality.
energy,
Yeah.
right? The energy behind it. Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen your work. We work together. I watch your videos and stuff. What inspires your creativity?
Oh man, when people say, what's your why? My why is just the love of the flowers. I never wanted to run a business. I never wanted fame. I just love flowers. I'm just fascinated by their beauty. Sometimes I just can't believe that they're real. Like sometimes just the way they look. We're in peony season right now, and my garden has been blooming, and I'm cutting them and bringing them inside, and it's just every year I go through this. I'm like, oh my God, it's peony season again, and my sons are like, okay, mom, we get it, but it's just to me that's just one thing that gets me up in the morning is just seeing their beauty. So that's my why, just enjoying that creation.
Awesome, awesome. Speaking of peonies, they're my favorite flower too. I used
Hmm.
to have a lovely peony garden on the side of my home until the deers came and ate them all up, and they've
Oh,
never grown. When I say
oh,
they nibbled them down to the ground. They
oh.
nibbled them down to the ground. And what makes it so bad, I had accused my lawn person of cutting them down. He was like, "Ma'am, we didn't cut your bushes down." I was like, "Yes, you
Oh,
did." So I went back to my videos for my alarm system. I have a camera on that side of the house. And yeah, Bambi and friends
oh no.
crazy on it. And till today, I've yet to plant anything else on the side of the house because I'm afraid that they'll come and just graze again.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. That is truly, truly
Very,
heartbreaking.
and they would have just such beautiful big blooms on them.
Yes, yes. It's amazing when you see them come up and you see that tiny little bud, and how does that tiny bud produce that beautiful, spectacular, show-stopping bloom? I'm still in awe over that.
Sets JR Flowers apart from other floral industries, floral designers in the DC area.
Well, let me say this. I don't do like 30 events a year. I'm a small company. I do have a team, but I don't have the aspiration of taking over the DMV. So I think if you're looking for a florist who you can get to know, who you will meet on your wedding day, who will bring you just, those beautiful flowers that you've been dreaming about, that's me. That's me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like to give a personal touch to my design. You're gonna meet me. You're gonna see my face on the Google Meet or the Zoom call, and that's just the way I prefer to run the business.
That high personal touch. I love it. Love it. Well, you've told us some fun things about yourself as we've been talking. We know that you are a physician. We know how your company was formed and the name of it. Um, if you weren't a physician or doing flowers, what would you be doing?
Let's see. That's a good question. I do enjoy interior design, so
Mhm.
that's a possibility. Um, Yeah, maybe something like that, or maybe marketing, something with marketing, because I enjoy designing proposals for clients. So maybe something with marketing or hospitality.
Okay. Okay. And do you have a hype song?
I don't. I really don't. But I mean, my sons, they have their artists that they like to listen to when they're, doing breakdown or sometimes doing setup. So I hear their music, but I don't really have a hype song. It's funny because sometimes I don't even listen to music while I design, which other people think that's very strange. I'll sometimes listen to podcasts or, sometimes I'll have music, but no, I don't have a hype song.
And if you could plan an event anywhere in the world, where would that be?
If I could plan an event anywhere in the world,
Mm.
ooh, mm, I don't even know. I mean, I would imagine it would be maybe somewhere like Bali or Fiji or something like that, something very far away, very tropical, some outdoor, over the water type space, beautiful view. I guess I would do something along that line. Something like maybe like a long table with, overlooking the water and having I don't know, I see flowing fabric or something along that line, maybe.
Okay, okay. Awesome. How do you develop your relationships in the industry with other vendor partners? Because it does, like you said, it takes a village, it takes a team. And I do believe that that team does expand beyond our businesses. So we do have to reach out there and connect with, other vendor partners. How do you connect with vendor partners?
Well, certainly through National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals, I've met other, vendors. That's been a wonderful experience just being a member. I still try to get out to industry events, and like mixers and things like that, to meet people. I haven't. Let me see. The last style shoot I did was about a year ago, so I don't do them as often as I used to. But style shoots in the beginning were a good way to meet other people. But I think it's just showing up. You do have to try to show up to industry events when you can, and then just try to just reach out to people that you sort of like their energy. That's what I try to do. I don't just try to meet every planner or meet every photographer. I sense energy in people, and so I try to connect with people who have similar energy to me or whose energy makes me smile, makes me want to kind of get to know them more. I feel like that's more genuine.
Love it, love it, love it. All right. And what advice would you give someone new coming into the industry wanting to be a floral designer?
Mm. I would say make sure that you work out because you're gonna need your strength. You're gonna need a lot of energy because this is a part of the industry that is very physical. And I would say, um, you know, give away, a little bit of the work in the beginning because people don't know you and they're gonna, need to see your work to kind of get to know you. But then after a while, don't give away too much. I mean, certainly you can be a sponsor for events that mean something to you, and work with, people that mean something to you, but don't just give away your work to any old body because sometimes it's not appreciated. You want your
Mhm,
efforts to be appreciated. So I would say, just be cautious.
mhm, mhm. Okay, awesome. So just a few rapid fire questions. Are you a morning person or are you a night owl?
Uh, neither, but if I had to choose, I would say night owl. I'm more of like a late afternoon, early evening kind of person.
Okay. Your dream celebrity client that you'd like to plan an event for?
Uh, mm, maybe Oprah because I know she loves flowers.
Okay, all right, all right. Love that, love that. One word to describe your journey thus far as an entrepreneur.
Uh, Topsy turvy.
Topsy-turvy. Love it, love it. 'Cause it definitely has its ebbs and flows. Oh my God.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, what's next for Shirley Goodwin and J.R. Flowers?
Oh, let's see. J.R. Flowers. Probably moving into more corporate events. Um, I like corporate work, and I'm kind of exploring that a little bit more. Um, and then as far as for Shirley Goodwin, again, more self care, just taking better care of my body, not like beating my body up and saying, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. I need to really just take better care of myself in general.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, where can people follow you and connect with you?
I am on Instagram. My handle is at JR Flowers Weddings. I'm also on Facebook, same handle. And then my website is www.jrflowers.net.
Awesome. And any final words of inspiration for aspiring event professionals?
Oh, I think you should definitely look into joining National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals because you'll find a very supportive community in many parts of the country, and just definitely be open to meeting people, getting out there. I'm not the most social person out there, so I can feel your pain if you're more introverted. But you've gotta if you're gonna be in this industry, you gotta get out there at least a little bit to get to know some people and connect with people whose energy matches yours.
Okay, awesome. Well, Shirley, thank you for spending this time with me so that our audience can get to know who J.R. Flowers and who Shirley Goodwin is, the person behind the brand. And audience, thank you for joining us. We'll be back with more of our members, highlighting them so that you can get to know who they are and all about their brands. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Business Spotlight. Big thanks to our members for sharing their journey with us. If you're listening and want to support local, now you know the story behind the brand. Until next time, keep it local, keep it lively, and keep it shiny.